So today we're going to be making a wedgie sled. What a wedgie sled is a sled that I can use on the table saw to help cut small segments of a certain length to enable to make segmented rings, to make segmented bowls. So we're going to start with that. So we're going to start with this black melamine scrap that I have. I'm going to cut it 16 by 19 to make our sled. I'm going to add the T-track to it, and then we'll create wedges and be able to cut our segments out of that. So first step is to cut this to the right size. All right, so we need to cut our T-track grooves here and here. I'm going to do that on both sides until this track fits inside of it so we can hold our pieces when we cut. I'm going to use the leftover T-track that I have as my runner to go into my groove for my sled. So I am going to add another small groove at about 5 1/4 inches from the edge, because that'll give it to me where I just cut off a sliver of the leftover part of the sled. So with aluminum T-track, you can cut it just like you can on wood on a normal tools. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 16 inches for the top, and then have one for the bottom. So I now have my T-tracks in, and then I use the leftover piece as my track. Slide it in there. I'm going to cut off this perfectly straight. So my sled will slide right next to the blade. So all the pieces I'm going to cut exactly right there with the blade. So on this sled, there's going to be 2 pieces of wood that hold the specific angle of the wedge that I'm trying to make. So we're going to cut 2 strips out of this. We'll just make them 2 inches thick. Then we'll have to do some prep on them to get them to be perfect on here. I need to cut 2 holes on each side for it to be able to adjust up and down to the right angle depending on what size of the wedge I'm going to use. So I'm going to go through a couple passes. We're going to cut this through right through the middle. We're going to make a little bit of room, give ourselves about 2 inches so we can adjust it to make it fit to whatever size we need. Once the holes are done, I just added some T-track bolts and some knobs and basically tighten them so you can do that. So I'm going to use the laser now and cut all my wedges so they're the exact size that I need. So I got my sled, and now I have what's called a wedgie. So this wedge, basically, it takes 9 of these cuts at these angles to make a perfect 9-sided figure, nonagon. So I'm going to line this up here. I already kind of locked this one in. So I'm just going to kind of lock this one in, make sure it's the same angle on both sides. So what that's going to allow me to do now is once I have a specific length that this needs to be, I'll be able to cut it to make it at a perfect angle, adjust it to here, and cut all the angles that I need. So start off on the smaller pieces here. Now, normally you should have stop block. I'm going to move my fence over to the side. So what I'm about to do here is move the fence over, which is a huge mistake, because what happens is the fence goes all the way next to the blade. So when you're cutting, it can cause the piece of wood to get wedged in between the fence and blade and shoot, and you can have kickback, which obviously can cause a lot of damage. So definitely don't want to use the fence. You just want to use the stop block. So after cutting these, I moved the fence over, used the stop block, and cut everything, and it was much more safer. So do not use the fence when cutting like this.